Hello, everybody. It's a dark Halloween night, and I thought we might go for a walk together. I have a little story to share. It's a bit of a Halloween story, and it's written in a way that was taught to me by a friend of mine a long time ago. So here we go. Halloween had ended, but the night still carried its aftertaste. Sidewalks held crushed leaves and tired glitter. Paper bags sagged on strings above apartment balconies. A lonely skeleton decoration swayed in a slow breeze, bones made of cheap cardboard and stubborn nostalgia. A figure walked under street lamps, steps steady and hurried. Not aimless, just moving. Breath visible in pale threads, rising and vanishing. The kind of breath the city only sees when the season tips into real cold. Hands tucked into coat pockets for warmth. Back stretched upright, but not rigid. A face partially hidden in a scarf and shadow, yet open. Eyes carrying a dull winter, quiet around the edges. The city was not asleep, only softened. Shop signs off, windows glowing, yellow and blue. Music from one apartment, laughter from another. A tram bell in the distance, tired and polite. Cars slicing the street from time to time, like careful thoughts. The figure reached a familiar block. Old buildings with chipped corners. A bakery shuttered for the night, the scent of bread still clinging like memory. A newspaper stand gated and silent. A tired bicycle locked to a lamppost, thin flame trembling in the wind. A building door pushed open, metal hinge sighing, like someone walking halfway and deciding against it. The stairwell offered warmth mixed with dust and floor cleaner. Faint hum of pipes under tile. A light bulb flickered above, undecided about its shift. The shoes climbed the stairs step by step. The breath steadied, the shoulders relaxed, not yet at peace, but untightening. And halfway to the landing, a door. Not the usual apartment door, not part of memory, slim, dark wood, no number, no handle, nestled between floors where no door had reason to exist. Stillness gathered in the stairwell, like dust finding corners. A pause. The figure looked at the impossible shape, not shocked, but more like recognition without memory. The figure took a step closer. Breath slower now, a hand reached out, and the fingers brushed the wood. It was warm, not furnace warm, but alive warm, like a palm held too long in another's hand. The person looked to the right. The home door, normal life. The keys were ready in the pocket, and routine waiting obediently behind the frame. Then back to the strange door. Silence with the intention set around the wood. Not threatening, not inviting, simply present. The figure rested a palm against the grain. The skin of the hand remembered something. Holding on too long, maybe. Letting go too late, possibly. Nights spent awake in still rooms waiting for the heartbeats to slow. A forehead leaned gently to the surface of that door. Eyes closed, breath quiet. And memory surfaced. Curtains drawn against noonlight. Clothes kept on a chair too long. A cup cooling before the first sip. Days lived in pause. Life happening nearby, unentered. A breath deeper than habit escaped. Fingers pressed to the wood of that mysterious door, and nothing moved. So the figure stepped back, looked again, tilted head slightly the way one examines a mirror for more than reflection. The door did not disappear, did not shift. It simply existed with a patience that felt older than the building. Footfalls returned to the main door. A key slid into the lock. Metal turned with familiar duty. A life unchanged waited behind it. But the person did not push through. The person returned to the quiet, mysterious door. Hand again, head again, shoulders softening, surrender without defeat. A whisper formed inside the stillness, not a voice from the door, but a voice from the place beneath the sternum, where courage sometimes sleeps until woken. Open. Not a command, not a plea, just truth aired quietly. No movement and no reply. Downstairs, a neighbor coughed. A stroller wheel squeaked. A bus hissed and rolled away like steam escaping old grief. The figure sat on top step, back leaning against cool metal railing, knees drawn slightly inward, hands resting loosely unarmed, unguarded, face calm, but edges marked by long-held winter. Time moved, but gently. The hallway light dimmed and brightened. A moth circled lazy patterns around the bulb, and pipes clicked like knuckles, preparing to bend. A memory drifted into the chest, uninvited but welcome. A morning once abandoned, sun through curtains ignored, plans postponed until they became ghosts, hovering over evenings. The figure inhaled slowly and exhaled without rush. Not meditation, not ritual, simply breathing correctly for the first time in a while. And then a sound, soft like wood settling, or someone on the other side, shifting weight from one foot to another. The door remained closed, yet something changed. Air felt less still, heart less armored, and night less heavy. The figure was standing again, palm again on the door, and the forehead again. Inside coat pocket, fingers brushed a small object, a folded ticket stub from a film not fully watched, kept for no reason until now. The figure unfolded it. Ink faded. Date from a season when the sun still sat later in the sky. It smelled faintly of popcorn and laughter not participated in. No ceremony, just feeling. Then the object was returned to the pocket, not thrown, not clung to, simply carried differently. Again, the figure's hand rested flat upon the mysterious door. A breath, another, a third. Ready. Barely spoken, but the air accepted it. A seam of light appeared, thin as hair, steady growing, not blinding, more like morning under a blanket. The figure leaned in, not through, simply near, and light touched the cheekbone, warm in a way spring mornings remember. Air from the crack carried the scent of soil after rain. A page about to be written on, something citrus and something new. A single step forward, and the soul was shifting, not the feet. Then a literal step into the door. One foot crossed, and that was enough. Light brushed the face like a hand smoothing hair behind an ear. The next breath came easier than the one before. A door behind opened, this one ordinary, belonging to a neighbor. A grocery bag rustled. Footstep paused, glance chose silence, respect, and anonymity. The figure at the door, almost inside the door, kept eyes closed. Light touched the eyelids. Something inside loosened, not replaced, not erased, but loosened. When the eyes opened, the stairwell remained, but the body inside the coat stowed differently. Head higher by just a fraction, shoulders less heavy, chest holding space instead of weight. The strange door closed without a sound. Not vanished, just resting or waiting. Steps moved towards the familiar door, and the key turned again, this time an entrance. Lamp switched on, soft glow filled the modest room, a table with rings from old mugs, A plant with leaves curled in patient expectation. A jacket hung on the chair like a tired companion. Shoes set aside and water boiled in kettle. Steam rose gently, curling like thought without anxiety. Cup held with both hands, warm, spread into palms, into the wrists, and up to the quiet place behind the ribs. At the table, paper and pen, one line written. Walk through the pause. Cup rinsed, curtain open, street breathing below. Bed stillness, sleep without struggle. The morning brought clean light, not triumphant, but appropriate. The kitchen floor cool on bare feet, bread toasted, window open, air touched face like a greeting without urgency. Outside, bakery shutter rolled upward. Taylor unlocked the shop. A pigeon shook feathers and took flight without drama. Keys lifted from the bowl, coat donned, door closed quietly behind. In the stairwell, a hand brushed wall where the strange door rested unseen, warm, a soft pulse of possibility and not demand. A nod to silence, simple acknowledgement. Outside, steps moved into the street. Not different feet, different direction inside them. The morning air held promise without promising anything. The day waited without pressure. The world did not cheer. It simply made room. And the figure walked, not faster, not slower, just truly walking through a city returning to itself after Halloween, and a life quietly returning to itself too. So, my dear students, I hope you enjoyed the walk in this AI city, and I wish you a happy Halloween. See you next week.